Right guys, so this is my second video. Please like, subscribe, get that off to a good start. So the first video was a toolbox tour. This second video we're going straight into work. So as I promised, the channel is primarily going to be set up for educational purposes. Today's subject is a Volvo FH4. She's like 2015. So straight into the deep end. We've been faced with a loss of power scenario. The driver's complained of shaking coming through the cab and premature gear changes, all indications that this vehicle's losing power. Driver comes to us with a complaint, so first thing I do is listen. And I can clearly hear that she's running on 5 cylinders. She's not right. So the fact that there's a blatant misfire, I know, and knowing these engines, I've got my suspicions straight out of what's causing it. So first things first, we have a quick look, make sure she's not losing any fluids, no fuel leaks or anything obvious like that we'd need to tackle. Everything, she's bone dry underneath. So next thing we do, we plug in, we see what fault codes have been generated. This is gel test software, probably the best multi-brand software on the market. You can't go wrong with this stuff. It communicates with the version 4s very, very well. So we plug in the Bluetooth unit, the OBD. That's there's probably newer ones available these days, but there you are, it's one I'm using, old dinosaur. So first things first is we interrogate it for fault codes. I'll be going here, my last vehicles. Now, what you do need to know as the watcher is that I've already pre-diagnosed this for the ease of filming of this video. What you're going to see is a sped up diagnostics process. However, you'll see what I've done in order for me to help you out. Hang on, we've got a loss of power here. Stop recording. Right, so we've scanned the truck, carried out some brief diagnostics. This is what we've got. Come and have a look. So, right off the get-go, the active fault code, which is highlighted in red, clearly states that there's a problem with injection or diesel injection on cylinder number 5. It says learned offset at maximum value, no subtype information. You don't really, I won't bore you with any of that shit. So, what I know about these engines is that they're a PD engine, pumping unit injector in fuel injection, and the fuel injectors, in a nutshell, run off the camshaft. Now, these cams are basically made of toffee. They're not very strong, so they've got a bit of a reputation for spinning the cam lobes on the shaft. It's a hollow camshaft. They can spin the lobes and it can offset the learned values of fuel injection on a particular cylinder. Either way, I need to know whether or not that's what's happened, or whether or not it's a problem with the actual fuel injector itself. So, onwards to the process. Okay, so we knew from the diagnostics that there was a problem with cylinder number 5 fuel injection. So it was either going to be a fault with the fuel injector or potentially the camshaft having spun a lobe on the shaft itself. As I mentioned, they're made out of treacle, they're shit. So to establish the cam timing, what I've done is I've spun the engine around so that fuel injector number 5 is at maximum compression. As you can see, if you compare to the rest of them, the valve spring on this one is fully compressed. She's right at the pinnacle of the cam lobe on this cylinder. Now, that being the case, if you come to the tip of the camshaft here, I've marked up where the timing mark is for fuel injector number 5, and I've marked it in blue, okay? And you probably can't see much, but there's a timing mark there for injection number 5, and I've made a note, a mental note of where that lines up. I can see that she's pretty much flush with the edge of the rocker cover mounting face here. So what I need now is a reference with a cylinder that I know doesn't have a fault. So I've done the same process with cylinder number 6. And you can see on cylinder number 6 I've marked it with a red marker. Now the timing mark for cylinder number 6 is also marked in red. So I'm going to have to do the laborious task of spinning this engine over again by hand until injector number 6 is fully compressed. Then I check to see where the timing mark is, and I'll see you in 20 seconds. So, hope you enjoyed that time-lapse video. So we've got cylinder number 6 now fully compressed on the fuel injector. You can see if you compare it to the others, the valve spring's fully compressed on this cylinder here. So that means that this roller is right at the pinnacle of the cam lobe. So I've used this one, I've marked it red as a reference to where the cam lobe should be, because I suspect a fault with number 5. So I've used number 6 because we know that that's a good cylinder as a reference. So if we go to the timing mark on number 6, now if you remember earlier, when I timed up number 5, the blue mark was flush with this cover. Now this time round, on a good cylinder, number 6 is much higher up. There's a good 10mm difference. So for me, that's a smoking barrel. I now suspect strongly that the cam lobe for fuel injection on number 5 has spun on the shaft. What I have done, if you see here, I've marked another cylinder for a second reference, just to double confirm my suspicions, with a yellow marker, and that refers to cylinder number 2. If you look here, there's a yellow mark on this one. Now I'd done all this last night, just so that it saves the viewer time, so you don't have to watch me waffling on too much. I've tried to make the video as short as I can, yet as informative as I can. So we're going to proceed to another time-lapse video. I'm going to spin it over until this cylinder here is fully compressed on injector number 2, right at the top of the cam lobe. We'll double check the timing. If cylinder number 6 is good, it should line up in the same way that this cylinder here does, which would then absolutely confirm that cylinder number 5 has a mechanical issue on the camshaft. From there, the job would be camshaft out, replace camshaft. So, in the toolbox tour, I mentioned that we use these to spin engines over to do top end setups. Ideal. It fits into the bell housing of the gearbox. This is one of those jobs. It fits in a hole just down here. Very, very convenient way of spinning the engine over. So, I'll see you again in 20 seconds. So this time around it's cylinder number 2, fuel injector, that's fully compressed. As you can see, the spring's nearly binding, which means she's at maximum compression. Cam roller is right on the pinnacle of the cam lobe. So we now refer to, and I've marked this one yellow, we now refer to the yellow mark that I'd made for the timing mark of injection number 2, the tip of the camshaft. And as was the case with cylinder number 6, you can see that the timing mark is in the same place as it was on cylinder number 6, which is now double confirmation for me that this camshaft is faulty. The camshaft has spun its lobe on cylinder number 5. It's an expensive repair. It's not a 2-minute job, but it's not so bad. So the next stage of the video would be me taking this apart. You're welcome to carry on watching. Right, so for this next bit of the video, this is going to be, I don't know, like 2 minutes of your viewing in time lapse. So this is going to be 4 hours of my day and probably loss of skin on my knuckles and all sorts. In a nutshell, I'm going to spin the engine up now to get her onto TDC number 1, so that she's timed up, and then I'm going to proceed to take the rocker shaft off, ejector number 5 out, camshaft out, shell bearings out, clean it all up, make sure everything's clinically clean, and I will eagerly await our new parts. I'll see you later. Alright, so it didn't take too long. Camshaft out, rocker shaft is out. This is what we're left with. I'm not going to bore you with me putting it back together because I don't feel that you're going to learn anything from that process. The video was based purely on finding the initial fault and how to diagnose it, things to look out for, and just a bit of insight into what it's like inside the truck engine. Comment, like, subscribe, don't be shy. I'll see you next time.